Welcome into this Lowdown Extra. I'm Damien Barling for US Cryotherapy. We thank you so much for being with us. Joined again by the CEO and co-founder of US Cryotherapy, Kevin Kramer. Kevin, welcome.
Thank you.
And joined by the head coach of the UC Davis Aggies, fresh off your NCAA tournament run, Coach Jim Les. Coach Jim, thanks for joining us.
Glad to be here. Thanks.
Congratulations, first of all,
Thank you.
On the run for UC Davis. One of the Northern California locations cryotherapy has is in Davis, and if you've ever been to the US Cryotherapy website, or if you've ever been to their social media page, there's a video of you on there talking about the benefits of cryotherapy. How did you find out about cryotherapy? What brought you? I know you go to the Roseville location. What brought you in there?
Well, I can't tell you the impact that it's had on myself personally, and then on our basketball team. Having been a former athlete myself and going through the normal aches and pains that you go through, I'm above 50 now, so sometimes getting out of bed is a chore. Mm-hmm. And I fortunately met Kevin through a mutual friend, and I heard about cryotherapy. And I remember back in the day when I was playing the NBA and sitting in those ice tubs, and that was kind of what kept you going through the marathon of a basketball season. Well, life becomes a marathon. And when I talked to Kevin, and he talked to me about the ease of walking into that four-person chamber and being able to sit in that environment and get that ice tub bath feel, mm-hmm. but I could do it in 3 or 3.5 minutes.
Yeah.
And walk in and out of it and do it multiple times in a day, multiple times in a week. So that to me immediately was, hey, I want to feel better, because I know if I'm feeling better, it has an impact on how I think and how I resonate with my team. So being able to go there and have those quick treatments really revitalized me, and some old injuries all of a sudden dissipated. Mm. So then we carried it over to the marathon of a basketball season, and all that goes through with our young men, the bumps and bruises, sprained ankles. We've got some guys that had some ACL surgeries, and started to talk to them. They have a busy schedule. We're practicing, lifting weights. They've got to get to class. We're traveling. We don't have all this time to sit in an ice bath and sit down and get all the treatment that they need, because they're on this rapid schedule. So our ability to walk into a center, and we do it as a group and as a team, and for them to go in and get 3.5 minutes in the chamber, get some local on specific areas that they're having trouble with. Boy, that frees up so much time. And now over the course of a marathon season, we were the healthiest at the end of the season. We were playing our best basketball at the end of the season, all because not only were they eating right, but they were taking care of their body and taking care of the injuries and little bumps and bruises that happen. And then some of our guys who had ACL surgeries last summer, they're on a pace where 30 to 40%, they're ahead of their rehab schedule. And we, in part because they're spending so much time over at cryo, and it's ramping up their ability to get out the swelling and get the healing going within those surgical procedures they had.
We call when I used to work with athletes, we would call that prehab or preventative maintenance. The things like cryotherapy, things like eating right can help as the season goes along and along and along. Because you can correct me if I'm wrong, Coach. I'm guessing your UC Davis Aggies didn't have a lot of rest days like we're hearing so much about in the NBA lately.
No, we don't get any rest days. The NCAA requires 1 day a week, and that's certainly not sufficient, especially when they're dealing with school and travel and all the other things that are coming about. And it was funny, even the guys that were feeling pretty well were still going in, and it was prehab and preventative in their ability to just stay on top of their health so they can play the best they can play.
Now, Kevin, I want to bring you into this here. Coach just talked about the kind of it in the more simple terms of as to why it's good for him, why it's good for his players. But there are scientific reasons as to why it's good for professional athletes or collegiate athletes.
Yeah, well, first of all, it's great to hear, and certainly we love to see the Aggies in, and congratulations on a wonderful season for them. And you're starting to see that adopted throughout professional and even college sports because of the recovery time, and it can be accelerated. And as you heard, it can be translated into the layperson as well. So beyond just the anti-inflammation, and we've talked about this, Damien, before, but you have this release of chemical, right, and in cold shock in the process, and that's the endorphin release as well as the norepinephrine. And I personally believe, having spent many years in the field of neurology, that the norepinephrine is the key component here. So if you're dealing with chronic pain, if you're dealing with, post-surgical, norepinephrine is an extremely powerful anti-inflammatory, and it also works really well in the brain. And so we're seeing all kinds of results for people that are, repetitive stress issues in the labor force, people that have low back issues, people that are, as I mentioned, post-surgical. So we can accelerate those things, get them back to their quality of life, and it becomes a routine for them. So beyond just the recovery part of it, now you're seeing people coming in 2 to 3 times a week just to maintain, which is what I do myself. I mean, I'm feeling better than I did 15 or 20 years ago, and I go in 3 times a week just for the rush.
Mm-hmm. Coach, you're, I'm assuming, not as active on the basketball floor as you used to be. So what is it about cryotherapy that keeps you going? As a coach, we don't see the physical stress as much, but there's certainly some mental benefits, I think, to cryotherapy as well.
Well, definitely I talk a better game than I play these days. So, I
bet you could still get them up from 25 feet.
I can shoot them. I don't know if I can make any of them, but I can shoot them. For me personally, and coaching is a lifestyle. I'm in planes a lot. I'm on my feet a lot. A lot of times during the season, I'm not sleeping as well. And you tend to just start to deal with the normal aches and pains and figure like, hey, I guess this is just the way it is. But it has such an impact on your mood, on your energy, on your enthusiasm that I felt like, you know what, I wasn't at my best. And my consistent cryotherapy sessions all of a sudden removed some of that soreness. Knee pain from playing as long as I played, just the normal back pain, or you play a round of golf and you're just feeling uncomfortable. And all of a sudden, all that went away, and it's amazing what it did to your energy. It's amazing what it did to your attitude. And like Kevin said, for me, it was 3 times a week. I'm going in the chamber. We have a busy lifestyle, and you're in. The beauty of it is the speed of being able to get in and out of a center and do it quickly and not have it impact your day or impact your schedule. But boy, it had a huge impact on just my attitude and energy and enthusiasm, and that feeds off of with our players. The other thing, and I have a lot of friends that are having procedures, elbow procedure, a knee procedure. We have a great friend who had a hip replacement. And I was the biggest advocate of you got to go. You got to try this out. They're going through the post-surgical little pains, or guys, it's so much easier for us now to pull a muscle or just to feel tight. And there
all those things that come along with age.
There hasn't been one person that has come back to me with other than, thank you, Jim. I really appreciate you educating me about cryotherapy, you sending me over there, and it's been a great experience, and I feel so much better than I did a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago.
And Kevin, as we start to wrap this up, and I think it was something really important that Coach brought up right there, is you're in and out of the center in 15 minutes. You're in and out of that chamber anywhere from 2.5 to 3.5 minutes at the absolute most. What if you had to stress one really important thing about cryotherapy as it relates to non-athletes, what would it be?
I think as a culture, we've sort of, we throw pain meds and anti-inflammatories at problems, and we tend to be sort of stagnant, and chronic pain then sort of materializes, right? So we then sort of deal with that. If you can go into a center like a US Cryotherapy Center, and they're now available around the country, 15 different locations, probably 35 by the end of the year, and at a really affordable price. It's like joining a Massage Envy for $79 a month. You can get in and out in 15 minutes and get a core treatment of a chamber and localized and a hydro massage bed and feel better for a couple of days and then repeat that. Mm-hmm. The value is tremendous. You can clean your body out. You can get rid of the toxicity of these medications. You can, as Jim mentioned, you can elevate mood and energy levels. And then you start noticing things like I have, performance in the gym. You start feeling better just in general. And you don't realize that suffers as we age. until you've then all of a sudden alleviated that and gone to the other side. So I'm almost 50 as well, and I have better workouts in the gym than I did when I was 30. And those are the advantages that are just, people need to go in and try it for themselves.
Kevin, thank you as always. Coach, again, congratulations on the run for the UC Davis Aggies. You can go to uscryotherapy.com, find the location nearest you right now, use the promo code DELO30, and get your first treatment for just $30.